Welcome to another episode of Bushcraft Dave out on a big walk in the Peak District using the Collins Rambler's Guide to the Peak District. We're on walk number 14 today. This walk's called Eldon Hole. It's a level 2 difficulty. Should be fairly straightforward. I've been pretty much walking uphill since I set off from my car. Quite a steady climb, but nice. It's only about a 4 or 5 mile walk, so fairly short. And today I've just left behind me a little village called Peak Forest, which is a nice little cute village. It was one of them where it's on a main road, so you can't really stop anywhere. But I've done this walk before, and when I parked up next to a road, there's a little general stores there. And I remember that from the last time me and Mrs. Bushcraft Dave did this walk many moons ago, back in the day when I had hair. Not sure I had much back then. And I forgot my hat today, and it's sunny, and no doubt I'm going to burn my bonds, aren't I? But yeah, I've left behind the village of the Peak Forest. And I'm heading out for a lovely walk. Looking forward to my dinner, which tonight, made on my trangia, is going to be I was going to make a tomato pasta dish because I thought I'd be nice and simple, but I remembered I've been talking about chorizo in a few of the dishes recently. I was like, oh, this would be good with chorizo, and this would be good with chorizo, and I've not done it. I've not done anything with chorizo, and I love it. So I've got with me some chorizo, passata, onion. Just gonna make a really simple tomato and chorizo spicy sausage sauce that I'm gonna then mix up with some gnocchi I bought. Wonderful. I went in the shops looking for some pasta, some of that fresh stuff, because when I'm looking at this recipe, and you'll see in a bit that there's quite a bit of cooking time for the main bit, not loads, but then once I've cooked all that, I would have still needed to cook some pasta. So I was like, I'll get some fresh pasta. And then when I was in the shop, I saw gnocchi, and I thought, oh, that'll be a bit different. So it's a chorizo, tomato and gnocchi dish. Nice and simple. Going to be super tasty. The other thing we're going to have a look at on this walk is not just Eldon Hole, the massive hole in the ground, which I don't think I saw last time we came up. I think we didn't go to it. So the other thing I'm going to be talking to you about is I'm going to let you in on a Bushcraft Dave secret on this episode. Even though on the walks themselves, let me try and see if I can show you the right one. Even though on the walks in the book it does give you the map. Oh. So we get the map, the OS map for that section, which is brilliant. And I nearly needed it today because I'm going to talk to you all about sat-nav, navigation, GPS, that kind of stuff. It's cheating, isn't it? It is cheating. But I have mapped it from the book on my GPS. I've created a map route. I've done it for all the ones that I've done so far. And I'll talk to you about a bit more detail later on. But I use an app, plan it all out, do all the route plan. I still got the book because all the information about where we're going and what we're doing is on there. But also, my watch and my phone were just playing up when I got here. No 4G signal, no nothing. So I ended up having to old school it just for a little bit, reading the map, setting off where to go, but I knew what I was doing. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, we've got a good walk to do. Eldon Hole, walk number 14. Chorizo, tomato and gnocchi food to eat later on. And I'm going to tell you all about my sat-nav and GPS cheating walking. Catch you in a bit. And then not through there, round the outside. Only a fool would walk into that field, walk all the way through it, only to have to come all the way back. Only a fool answers on a postcard who's just done that. Oh yes, good job I'm doing this walk for you, innit? Letting you know where I've gone wrong. We're heading to Eldon Hole now, so it's off the beaten track. There are tracks, but it's not a particular public footpath kind of thing, so following the map, following my nose. Hope I get it right. Let's see what all the fuss is about. Ooh. Holy moly. Ooh. How close can I get? Let's have a look. Mrs. Bushcraft Dave will be having kittens. Whew. Wow. This is Eldon Hole. Long thought to be bottomless, Eldon Hole is the biggest open pothole in the peak. As one of the original wonders of the peak, it was a place of fear and dread to local people. Tales of people being lowered into it and coming out gibbering idiots. A legend. Maybe that's where I was born. But when it was eventually descended in 1780, it was found to be only 245 feet, 76 metres. Daniel Defoe describes Eldon Hole in his tour through the whole of Great Britain. So that's Eldon Hole. I never did that last time. I liked it. Well worth the little excursion. Whilst we're just taking in these beautiful views, let me tell you a bit about Peak Forest as well. Its name gives away its history, just as Chapel on the Frith does a few miles down the road. It was once part of the Royal Forest of the Peak, and Chamber Farm, west of the village, is thought to have been the site of Swainmote Court, where offenders who broke the strict forest laws were dealt with by the steward of the forest and over 20 foresters. So, sort of a centre of the forest around here, which presumably there once was a lot more of. Once upon a time. Whew. Right, let's get headed back to where we were, and then head out on the rest of our adventure. Alright, back to the wall. Oh, along this. That's that little sort of haddock just the other side of that wall where I went wrong because I wasn't paying attention. Well, that's satisfying. Whew. Still on the up. This way. And to give you a precursor of my watch is telling me I need to head down this side, following the wall, right where the cows are. But my head's telling me walk up this side, miles away from the cows, and then come back down later. Let's do that. If there's no cows there, follow that path along the wall. I'm going to walk up here for now. I can go back down there later, across the field. Back on the path. Just had to walk a bit around the cows. But I don't like the look of the potential needing to walk through all that lot ahead of me. Bumpy, fieldy cows. We'll see. Right, while that's bubbling away, let me tell you what I've been up to. So, this recipe is chorizo and tomato, which I'm going to have with some gnocchi, which I'll boil up later. So it was about 150 grams of chorizo, 1 onion chopped. They've just been frying off for about 10 minutes, I guess. And now I've just poured in a carton of passata. This is 390 grams, and then a little splash of water. Oh, and you also saw me chop up and put in 1 garlic clove. So this now is going to cook away for about 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. We'll see how patient I am. Right, so while that's simmering away, let me tell you a little bit about an app that I've been using when I've been doing these walks. To be fair, I've been using it for a long time before doing these walks as well. It's an app that I use called Komoot. I'll get Mrs. Bushcraft Dave to stick a link or some text here to show you how it's spelt. And we'll stick in some footage as well of what it looks like when I'm using it on my watch, what it looks like if you want to use it on your mobile phone. And basically, it's just a fantastic app that I've been using. Just to say as well, I'm not sponsored by Komoot at all. If you choose to use it, don't use it. It doesn't really matter. I just thought, I've not been using a map specifically. There is a map inside the book, which you can use. But I knew I would probably get distracted and I wouldn't really be concentrating on what I'm doing. So I thought I would use the Komoot app. I managed to figure out how it integrates with my watch as well. So when I'm walking, basically I can just quickly glance at my hand, see if I'm on the right path, or if I'm not on the right path, where I need to go to get back on track. It's absolutely fantastic. It's already a couple of times on this walk when I've not been paying attention and I've just been having a wander. I've just had a quick glance and yeah, I can see I'm off track and what I need to do to get back on track, which is pretty cool. It also tells you things like as maybe on different watches and things like that, maybe it has a slightly different interface, but on my watch it'll tell me things about how far I've gone, how far I've got left to go, what the inclination is as I'm walking as well. It'll tell me about my average pace, so I can get an idea of, you know, maybe I'm walking too fast, too slow. Absolutely fantastic thing to just keep me on track with where I'm going. You can use it through your mobile phone as well, the mobile app, where you can see a lot more detailed map than I certainly can do on my watch, which just shows a blue line and a red line, which is me walking over it, and which I can see then if the red line deviates from the blue, I know I've gone off. But on your app as well, on your mobile, it'll show you the maps. You can zoom in, zoom out. You can see what's coming next. Absolutely fantastic thing. The only thing I'd say is it's been a long time since I got it, but when I got it, I have a feeling that the first time you use it, when you like sort of join and you sign up or whatever, I think you sign up. You can use your Facebook account or whatever. When you sign up, it will give you like a section of the world as a map for free. But then all the other maps that you want to use beyond that are going to cost you money. Sometimes there's offers on bits and pieces. I have a feeling when I first used it, I used it for I think I got a map so that I would be able to do the North Yorkshire moors. But then beyond that, I've bought a map that covers the whole of Sheffield, the whole of South Yorkshire. Even when I was doing walk number 3, 4, I don't know. There was one of the walks earlier on in this when I was planning it. And I was able to plan it absolutely fine on because you can go on the website as well, so all the planning you can do online. But then when I was trying to use it on my phone or on my watch, it was saying I don't have the map for this. So there was a bit of one of the walks that just went into Staffordshire, I think it was. So I had to end up having to buy another little bit of the map, which takes you over to, I think it was like Stoke and places like that. But you can buy the world. Like, you can literally buy so that you've got access to the maps for all over the world. I didn't need that. Like, realistically at the minute, I'm only walking where I'm walking. So I bought the maps that I needed for where I was. And I can always buy more. Thing is, if you're going to go on a walk like this, it's worthwhile having something. Like when I end up doing the Limestone Way in the summer, which for me is only a couple of weeks away now, when I'm doing 3 days walking the Limestone Way, I am going to take a map with me on that one. I'm still going to use Komoot. I'm still going to use that to help me find my way. But if technology fails me, I know I've got a map as a backup. Now, if you're going to buy things like the OS maps, they're going to cost money anyway. So the fact that I've got these maps, which I've ended up buying, they're all online. I can access them whenever I want, and I can plan my routes on it. It's absolutely fantastic. So with that in mind, all of the walks that I've done so far, Peak District Walk number 1, flies everywhere. Peak District Walk number 1, all the way through to this one, walk number 14, and going beyond. I'm going to make sure I share them on the videos. So if you are interested in looking at that at all, if you want to have a look at the Komoot app and see what you think, then absolutely give it a look. And what I will do is in the descriptions for each of the videos that I've done so far, I'll go back into them, edit them, and I'll add into there the Komoot walk for walk number 1, walk number 2, etc. But yeah, if it's something you're interested in, have a look. If you've got any questions about it at all, give us a shout. But like I said, I'm not sponsored by it, but it's something that I have been using and I find mega useful, because the descriptions in the book are really, really good. Like, it'll say, you know, get to this certain point and turn right and walk up something lane or whatever. You know, that's really, really cool. But there's occasional points when you're out on these walks and you think, I've got to a stile or I've got to a gate. What do I do next? Because it doesn't quite in the book give you like exactly step by step. You walk through the next field, you'll get to a gate. Walk through the next field, you get to a gate. Because ultimately that would be boring, wouldn't it? If the book was just saying that to you all the time. So having the app, using it on my watch, it's a bit of a cheat. It's quite a lot of a cheat, Dave. What are you on about? But I'm finding it really, really useful with these walks. Now, my food is bubbling away. It's been 12 minutes. Maybe I've not been talking to you for all of that. Maybe I've been talking to you for about 6. But it's well in need of a stir. I'm going to stir the food. Yeah, and then hopefully I won't be far away from eating. But I've got the gnocchi to do yet. Got about, in fact, I'll have a look. So on my watch, you can see the route. And it tells me if I go on to the next bit, it gives me an elevation. Hang on. Gives me an elevation. And it also tells me how long I've got left at the bottom there. it reckons 38 minutes to get back home, and because you can see on the elevation map, it's downhill all the way. Now I am using the simmer ring. It's probably about half closed or half open, depending on how you feel about these things, but it's bubbling away nicely, and there's an element to which I'm really happy about that, because it'll just thicken that sauce up for it to go in with the gnocchi. Okay, I'm not 100% sure how long this has been bubbling away for now. I'm gonna say 15 minutes, but there's not loads of sort of extra sort of thin liquid knocking about. It's quite a nice thick sauce, like a really thick rich sauce. So I'm gonna say that for now I'm happy with leaving that as it is. Oh, look at the big chunks of garlic in there as well. Yes, please. If you could smell this, it's already smelling amazing. So I'm going to stick this to one side and then get on with the next part of the journey, which is in another pan. Now I bought a massive, well, I say a massive bag. It was the bag that they had of gnocchi at the supermarket. So I'm going to bring that water to a boil. But yeah, I bought a massive bag of gnocchi. And like I was looking at the serving size, and it says like per half pack 385 calories or whatever, and I'm thinking, oh, that sounds all right, doesn't it? Like half a pack is presumably what they say is a one person portion, and you know how I try on these walks to, because I've been out for a walk, have a 2-person portion. There's no way I'm getting all that a lot in there. So what my plan is at the minute, because this does just cook in 2 minutes, all right? Because it's, I don't know whether you know what gnocchi is, but it's basically like mashed potato that they form into dumplings. So it's already cooked. It's not like pasta where it's dried and it needs time to cook. This is already cooked. It just needs time in the water. So because it only needs 2 minutes, what I can probably do is stick in half a pack, drain it, maybe bring some more water to the boil while and then cook the other half of the pack while I am eating my first portion. So when you're out on a big walk, something like that's pretty useful. It would need to be stored in the fridge. I've only just come out and I've only been walking for an hour and a bit, so it's absolutely fine. And the chorizo, because it wasn't a cooking chorizo, because it was already cured, it's one that you could just carry in your rucksack, and it doesn't need to be kept in the fridge. This would, and I've also got some Parmesan cheese. So I'm starting to get my head around a sort of a reasonable solution for when I'm doing things like the Limestone Way. And I've got another couple of walks planned a bit longer, to make sure that, because I'm only going to be out here for a short time, it's not an issue. But if I'm out for those longer walks on a particularly hot day, I want to be pretty careful, don't I? So we'll salt the water. I've also brought with me just a little pot of ground black pepper. I want to try and put it in something smaller, but that's pretty useful for now if I want to stick some pepper on it. Whilst that water's coming to the boil, and I've managed to make use of one of my storage containers that I brought the chopped onion in to sort of split up already the sauce between 2 dishes. But yeah, whilst the water's boiling, I want to show you something else I bought the other day. I got this on Amazon, and you know how I'm always forgetting to bring with me knife, fork, spoon and all that sort of stuff? Well, I decided I would buy myself a knife, fork and spoon set. So this is pretty cool. I've not used it yet. This is the first time it'll be used, and if I can open it, which I can, I'm just being awkward. Basically in this nice little carry case, which I'll just always keep in my rucksack for when I go out. It's a fantastic set of bamboo equipment. So there's a bamboo knife, you know, it's going to do me a job. It's not necessarily going to cut through a steak, but hey, that's something we could try in another video, see if that'll cut through a steak. So we've got a knife, we've got a fork, which is pretty cool. There is a spoon, which I won't necessarily, well, maybe I will use the spoon actually. But yeah, who's it by? Jungle Culture. There's also a little bamboo straw and a cleaner for your bamboo straw. A really useful little bit of kit. Maybe even like a nice little placemat to put my food on. I'm going to keep that with me. When I wash it up, it'll go straight in my bag. Just like when I finished and I get home and I wash up my trangia, they'll all go straight back in my rucksack, ready for the next adventure. And just looking at the packaging for the gnocchi, It does say it's freezable, so that might be a solution. Stick it in the freezer, basically make them into mashed potato ice cubes, and then by the time you end up needing to cook them, they should be absolutely perfect. Right, let's get some of this gnocchi in. If you've never cooked with gnocchi before, dead simple to know when they are ready and done. So at the minute you can see that they're sunk down nice and low into the water. When they are ready, they will pop to the surface, floating, to let you know that they are done. Come on, gnocchi, gnocchi, gnocchi. Get yourself up and away. Oh, there's only just a smattering of fuel left in there. If they don't start floating, I'm going to have to probably look at refueling, and I think I might then take the simmering off just to get it proper going. There we go, all drained, ready to pour in my sauce. I'm going to give that a good mix up. In fact, I'll just quickly chuck that back in. A lot more water for the second lot. I've took the simmering off this time, so we should have tons of heat hitting that water. Right, yes, so my gnocchi and the sauce. Absolutely amazing. Looks like I've got the quantities about right. So the whole bag is going to be needed for this recipe of gnocchi for the sauce. Right, let's get it eaten. Let's have a chat about it while I eat it. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, and those who have yet to make up their mind, that's a line from the next show that I'm doing. I should tell you probably. When I'm not out doing walks, and when I'm not being a teacher, I'm a maths teacher for my sins, I also enjoy partaking in musical theatre, so a jack of all trades but a master of none. Today, I'm a jack of cooking my fantastic chorizo tomato passata garlic onion gnocchi. You know, I'm not going to lie to you. That is so good. How have I not thought to do this before? Well, this is brilliant for out on a hike. Really filling, highly calorific. So, you know, when you've been out for a big walk, what a meal. Definitely serves two. This is a huge portion. I think I'll probably just portion the rest up and take it home. I've made a bit of a mess. Yeah, bit of a mess, but wouldn't be a Bushcraft Dave video without me chucking food everywhere, would it? And yeah, I could probably just have got like a packet of pasta and sauce and just chuck water it, but this is like, the flavour of this is a million times better than them packet sauces and stuff. And really, the only thing I had to bring was the bag of the gnocchi itself. Some I could have brought an onion and chopped it with me. A chorizo ring, and a couple like the salt and. Oh mate, honestly, this is so good. I wish you were here. I'd give you some. Here, have some. Here, have some of this. Absolutely. Dish. Delish. So good. That chorizo. I didn't get a spicy one. You can get spicy ones. If you're into spicy stuff, you have a spicy chorizo. I am not going to stand in your way of a spicy chorizo. But not for me, please. A nice plain porky paprika chorizo with the lovely smooth creamy gnocchi. I forgot. Let's take this dish to another level. El Parmesano. Where's my knife? I'm just going to very carefully just sort of start taking some Parmesan peelings off. Some Parmesan shavings. Chuck them in. This is good. Listen, I need to get packed up, get walking. Later's mashed potato, gnocchi. Right, then off we go, back on the journey now. So I've got a couple of review videos coming at some point. Not necessarily immediately, not back to back. Interspersed in amongst the walks. God, that sounded far too fancy. But let's look ahead to the next Peak District walk that I'm going to do. The finale of the White Peak. This next walk that I'm going to end up doing, walk number 15, is called Castleton Caves and Crags. And I can see that definitely being something that I stumble my words over when it comes to doing the walk. From the town of township, village, from Castleton, presumably taking in some caves and some crags, but that'll be the next one. I'm looking forward to that. Castleton is actually where I'm going to end up starting the Limestone Way walk when I do that, which for me is about 2 weeks away, maybe 3 weeks. Yeah, I'm going to try and get in a few other walks in before then. But yeah, the Limestone Way coming up soon. And it starts from Castleton. In fact, up on the ridge here, this is the failure of pointing. Right, so here, woo, the ridge. As I was cooking, I heard loads of people. And I'm like, where are those voices coming from? And basically the Limestone Way is just up here. So at some point, I'm going to end up walking back past this neck of the woods along the Limestone Way, which is quite cool. So right now, I'm finishing this walk off. 30 minutes to go. What will that be? Mile and a half, something like that. Not long. Mile and a half to go, half an hour. Back to the car. It is currently, as we speak, 9:30 at night. Not that you can tell. It takes me about an hour to get home, so about 10:30 I'll be hitting the bed. But it's been worth it. I really needed a blow off today. Get out, get up into the fresh air, have a walk. Made a fantastic meal. Really fantastic meal that I ate way too much of. So yeah, we'll see what the next walk brings. More things to cook. Loads of ideas. This wasn't even on my list, this dish that I made today. This was just a spur of the moment. I decided I hadn't done enough pasta dishes. And so what did I do? I made gnocchi. What an idiot. So, yeah, there's a bit more of the walk to go. You'll see a little bit more of that as I show you some of the stuff. But other than that, thank you so much for joining me on this latest big walk. I hope you're enjoying it. And I will see you in the next one. Heading back into Peak Forest. Try and find my car. Oh, job done. Hello. You see me now? You see me now? Let me get down.